we do have extra time and penalties if the teams are level after 90 minutes. Sun shining, semi-final starting. And Pascal Gross, versatile. We suspected he would start on the right-hand side of the defence, but you never know with Brighton. Danny Welbeck giving an interview just a few days ago saying, well, we've got 3 different ways of playing in every game. So they do look at the opposition and see what they've set up like.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that McAllister is going to play alongside Casado, with Enciso just playing in behind Welbeck. But again, that will change.
Yeah, I think we got it right on our graphic, but I have to tell you all listening, it was a bit of guesswork and Clive Allen's expertise.
Thank you, Mike. We got it right at the moment, but it will change. I can assure everybody watching.
One-sided here yesterday in favour of the city of Manchester City. Domestic rivals looking to make it a historic. It's in June, the final. Will it be the 2 Manchester clubs, or will Brighton put their recent form, which has been very good, into this pressure cooker of a match?
And Martin, looking at the various situations of both sides and where it can be won and lost, for me it's fascinating in that central midfield area, with Manchester United having Eriksen and Casemiro and the vast experience that they bring to the team with Fernandes. I wonder if that's going to play a vital part in the favour of Manchester United.
Here is Casemiro, who had a big part in the winning of the trophy here 8 weeks ago, in scoring a goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is at right back, which means Dalot, who is more used to playing right back, is being used on the left. It's happened a few times recently. He's done well in the last Premier League game, right through to score at Nottingham Forest.
Well, injuries and suspensions obviously has limited Ten Hag's decisions in that Manchester United rearguard.
First Rashford raid.
I think Marcus Rashford felt that he was caught as he rolled that ball into the 18-yard box. He was caught late. Referee Craig Pawson just waved the game on.
Well, sometimes you do say the incident came too early for the referee. I'm not sure we're getting it. We do hear what VAR is saying. We're not hearing anything at the moment. And Enciso actually was damaged in that a little bit as well. He's limping. So not good early news for Brighton. It was a poor touch by Martial. Caicedo seems okay, or does he?
Just limping a little.
Adam Webster alongside Lewis Dunk. Dunk, the loyalist of servants. Matoma trying to put his imprint on the game for the first time, and at least he helped Brighton keep the ball. Gross.
Who do take control of many games in this manner with their controlled possession football.
Here's March. They are missing Evan Ferguson, who is a big physical presence in the middle. Teenager who sadly got injured, from Brighton's point of view, sadly got injured at Chelsea last weekend. He would have liked to have had him out there, De Zerbi.
Yeah, he's a young talent leading the line. He's had a fantastic season.
It's interesting to see De Gea go longer, certainly than in Seville.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're encouraging that Brighton press. They know Brighton are going to come press high, so they're just going to play beyond that in the early stages, Manchester United.
That will be A very sensible, logical reason. Another reason would be they don't want to be caught out like they were on Thursday. Estupinian breaking forward. Here's Mitoma, who is the wizard of dribble. And it's just outside, and it's certainly a foul.
Just an exceptional change of pace from Mitoma when he comes inside Wan-Bissaka. I think it was Fernandez who actually clipped him. Oh, Anthony trying to come back and protect his fullback. You can see steps across him, nowhere near playing the ball. Free kick given.
He was the culprit. Well, there's quite a discussion going on involving McAllister.
Solly March had gone across, but I think McAllister is the one with his right foot, Solly March with his left. They're the options for this Brighton free kick.
Yeah, and Ciso was part of the conversation. He doesn't speak much English, so McAllister would have helped. De Gea crouches. It's McAllister. Oh, it's close. It's a corner.
Well,
he reached it, De Gea.
De Gea just took a step to the right, Martin. I thought that McAllister maybe have just fooled him going into the far side of the goal. But it was a strong right hand, a strong top right hand from De Gea. Look at the step right, just a slight step right, but covers that side. It is the keeper's side to cover.
Wasn't it, the free kick?
Certainly good strike.
Yeah. So the set piece nearly. Another one to come now from Solly March's left foot. They could go short here. Be 2 against 1. But they don't. And it doesn't get past the front zone, which is guarded by Bruno Fernandes.
Well, interesting that Gross comes out, just really to pull one Manchester United defender out. Obviously doesn't take part in it, but he's just drawing one of the defenders out to give Marsh the opportunity to deliver. Poor delivery into that near post area.
Welbeck has done some damage since he left Manchester United to the Red Devils. He scored a crucial goal in an FA Cup quarter-final for Arsenal, the club he left Old Trafford for. Gross. It's gone out in the end. Anthony's hit a vein of form. He scored in his first 3 Premier League appearances, but it was only last weekend when he added to that in terms of league goals.
And it was surprised to see him defending in that left-back position, normally playing wide on the right. Rashford's actually out on the right at the moment.
It's a good touch by Anthony, linking up with Bruno Fernandes. Plenty in red shirts getting forward. March with the header. And back from Lindelof.
Yeah, and they have switched, Martin. Anthony's on the left, Welbeck is on the right.
Caught through the middle, and Eriksson. Brian Lewis Dunk has a look at Webster, the 2 centre-backs. And that could have been one of the softer goals in a semi-final.
Oh yeah, they would have been furious. Just a straight ball between the 2 centre-halves.
And the hair goes long again, but not straight. Kept in by Rashford. Martial, who was hard to predict. At his best, he's a match winner. He's won a semi-final here before. But at other times, get to half-time, you think we never mentioned him.
Well, he will be the one that I think is a fixture that stays central, tries to lead the line, will drop to allow midfield players to run beyond him. But it'll be unlikely to see him in the wider positions.
Brighton pushing for European qualification. If they win the FA Cup, of course, that takes them in. Can do it by league position. Gross It's another go at it. March. Shout for handball. Referee probably had a better angle on it than we did. And it is being checked.
No, it was played against the hand by Solly March. He was actually trying to prod that ball through for Gross's run. And it's high, probably clipping him on the shirt, on the right arm.
Anthony thought he could let it run and chase, but Dunk had his number that time. Robert Sanchez in goal, Spain international. Lost his place in the Premier League side to Jason Steele, who's been around a long time and not played much Premier League football. But, he was missing last week through injuries. On the bench today, which suggests that Sanchez is the cup goalkeeper. That's stupid, man. Had a lot of green grass to do his work in, but the ball just deflected out.
Clever Brighton move it really was. Estupiñán took the space that Mitoma created by running inside.
Well, they've got good contacts in Ecuador.
They've got good contacts worldwide, Marty, they really have. Recruitment's been exceptional.
Including replacing a manager. Painful one when you get onto the tarmac. Gross did. Anthony
Craig Paulson, I think, just calming Anthony down. There's a duel developing between him and Gross on this right-hand side of Brighton's attack.
Here's Gross getting away from Anthony. Running up Enciso, who scored that stunner at Stamford Bridge last weekend.
Well, I think his first control just lets him down, Martin, because as it's fired to him, good work, well crafted on the right, fired into his Enciso, and as he controls it, it just pops up. He then tries to strike it off the outside of his right boot and doesn't make the contact that he was looking for.
19 years old, Paraguayan.
And what a goal he scored last week, we mustn't forget that.
Headed on by Rashford. Anthony's back on the right. He's getting away from Gross for the time being. Sanchez picking his pass, as Brighton love to do. March. He's having the best season of his career, Solly March. He can mark that in goals scored. He's been an occasional scorer in his past years of service, but something's clicked. Whether it's the De Zerbi style of management, slightly different role.
Maybe just the experience he's gained, Martin, as well. Just fulfilled undoubtedly the potential he had as a young player.
He can't get away here because Rashford fouled by confused Enciso. Casemiro, that's a wayward one, a player of such experience and quality. Welbeck, almost through for Enciso. Eriksson. Now Anthony's got a run at Dunk. Mitoma got back. Eriksson on the scene. A lot of room here for Bruno Fernandes. Parried by Sanchez. That was a huge gap.
Good United move to give Fernandes the first shooting opportunity of the match for Manchester United. Wasn't the fiercest shot, Martin, but well dealt with by Sanchez.
Here's Rashford. It's a lovely ball. Oh, he couldn't quite take it in his stride. Millimetres in that.
Well, this is certainly Manchester United's idea that when Martial just drops, it is for midfield players to get forward. Fernandes does that, opens up, winds the shot towards the far corner, probably doesn't get the pace or dip that he was requiring. Comfortably dealt with by Sanchez.
Brighton have never beaten Manchester United in the FA Cup. They were looking for history this afternoon. Here's Gross in a great position to create it. Oh, and it was taken away from Estepinian by Mitoma. I think it was the left-back's ball.
I think you're right, Martin. Mitoma with his back to goal tries to swivel and strike, and as he does, he just takes it off of the toe of Estepinian as he's arriving. Again, down the right, Marsh and Gross combining well, cut back, Welbeck missed kick, and then the touch there, he just trying to swivel and hit with his left foot, takes it away from his left back.
Action at both ends is as we expected, Clive.
Absolutely, it's a game unfolding as we expected.
Well won by Webster, but it breaks for Fernandes. Anthony gets it back from Martial. Bruno Fernandes is in again, prodded goalwards. Still got it. Ericsson was waiting for a cutback.
2 dunk blocks, brilliant defending. The Brighton captain read Fernandes as he tries to come back inside. Again, just making headway in that midfield area. Anthony pass, cuts back inside Fernandes. Dunk, read it well.
Well, we know Brighton can attack, but are we sure they've got the defensive stability against the side? Maybe not at full strength of Manchester United, but they've got a lot of big game players, big name players. Here's Solly March. I'd like to get it on his left foot and shoot, but Christian Eriksen was aware of that.
Well, he's on the floor at the moment, Solly March. He thought he was caught as he released the ball.
Don't go too far away from your televisions. This is shaping up to be something special in the second FA Cup semi-final of 2023. I think attack is the best form of defence for both sides. Manchester United having to patch up the back line. The way Brighton play, they do at times ask their defenders to deal one-on-one with opponents, and yeah, that's okay if you come out on top, but not something most coaches encourage.
No, you have to be very confident in your defending ability to match up with your opposition one-on-one.
Here's Dunk. Webster. Interchange of passes. Get the ball through to Enciso, who's strong with Shaw at his back. Pressure put on Caicedo. Manchester United know what an influence he can be.
Well, Gross actually stubbed his foot as he planted his right foot. He rolled his ankle, Solly Marsh.
Yeah, he's in the wars inside the first 20 minutes here. Was a Brighton player when they played that semi-final 4 years ago and lost 1-0 to Manchester City, but he wasn't in the squad.
Just there, as he plants that right foot, you can see the ankle just rolls under him.
To Zerbi glances over his shoulder and waits for the word from the medics. One thing about ankles is you can tape them up and you can soldier on, but with the number of substitutes allowed these days, that sort of thing doesn't happen quite as often as it used to. Erik ten Hag taking the opportunity to have a word in the ear of Anthony. Nice concern from Dalot.
You just hope when you get up, Martin, that it doesn't give way under you once again. Watch the right boot here. As he plants it, rolls under his ankle. You can see the anguish on his face.
referee saying, look, I have to get you off the pitch if you're not going to be able to carry on if you need further treatment. I can tell you, he'll do everything possible to carry on.
Oh, without a doubt. I feel for him exactly the same position in the 82 Cup final, Marty, when I rolled my ankle in the second minute and never recovered from it, unfortunately.
And nor did Queen's Park Rangers.
Well, all I can say, I shouldered on to half-time, but didn't want to come off, but had to.
Dunk underneath it. Hit by Estupinian. High boot by Welbeck. The free kick had been given earlier. And then Casemiro, I presume accidentally.
Yeah, it was accidentally, but he has trodden on him. The foul's given for Casemiro, pulling him back there.
We didn't see what actually happened as he moved backwards. But I can tell you, Enciso felt it. Duncan. Matoma. Clever ball into Welbeck, who came off his man to try and get it to feet. Then couldn't quite shore it in. And now he's gone into Bruno Fernandes.
Welbeck struck for the ball, but I'm not sure he got a lot of the ball. He did catch Bruno Fernandes. I wonder if it's their first semi-final, those young United supporters.
Well, he's been to Wembley already in his first season and gone away with a piece of silverware. It's always a good way to start for a manager who's had a significant impact. Hasn't all been sweetness and light. There have been some difficult issues to deal with. And when they have lost, Manchester United, they've lost probably badly, really. Think of Anfield. And now, Bruno Fernandes. The one common thing, Clive, is that people are going for the ball. It's a semi-final. You don't want to be accused of not being aggressive. Ooh,
well, again, that's an accident. Yeah. He's actually trying to strike for the ball, and his right ankle, for me, that's a foul, but then his right ankle catches the left boot of McAllister, and he rolls his right ankle with that contact.
Well, they were poor without him on Thursday when he was suspended, Bruno Fernandes. Has been such a strange season, a unique season with the get up running right from the start of it, and then the World Cup break for so many of these players. In terms of break from English football, but a huge fatigue risk. Back at it again straight after the holiday season. Right through, we're going to a cup final in June, Clive. I mean, I think when the history of this season is written, there will be a lot of analysis about physical data of the players.
Well, for many of the Premier League players, obviously they might well have been participating at the World Cup, but for those who wasn't, they had a break. That would have been structured in terms of the work that they did, but it is the workload of the players that were at the World Cup. Some would have played nearly all the games that their country played. Some would have been there and not played games. So there are all so many differing levels that it's so difficult for the coaches.
Almost have to treat every player as a one-to-one relationship with their physicality.
Exactly. And obviously the sports scientists come into play massively there for the coaches. Yeah, he's just explaining the physio that he's rolled his right ankle. He's going to carry on as well.
We've got Marcel Sabitzer, of course, who's starting to make an impact in his 6 months or so with United on loan from Bayern.
Rashford is now down after a challenge.
It looks like a hip or a rib. Suddenly, from a very flowing game, this has gone to staccato semi-final.
Well, Gross steps into him to deny Rashford a clean header. There's not really too much contact. Certainly not an elbow in the ribs.
No, that really Rashford's own momentum took it into Gross. So Bruno Fernandes is going to battle on. Solly March is battling on, so...
Both limping though, Martin.
Yeah.
They are far from free moving.
It's 10.5 against 10.5 at the moment. Caicedo, who was the first player to be down on the deck in the opening Manchester United attack. March not trying anything too expansive.
Well, the game becoming very disjointed, Martin. It just seems that every challenge, every contact, a player is then on the floor.
Here's Pascal Gross. Hasn't been on the floor yet. Tries to floor Manchester United. Mitoma slide it in for Estupinian, and he slips, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka's away. There's a test of Fernandes' ability to run. I'm not sure he was quite in top gear.
I don't think he was ever getting there, Martin, when he saw Dunk coming across in the manner that he was. He isn't happy, Fernandes.
Here's Luke Shaw. Ericsson being pressed back. Of course, it was his home ground this for a while with Tottenham. Seem to remember him scoring for Spurs at Wembley against Manchester United. Clive's nodding, so it must be right.
Yeah, he was quite an exceptional talent at Manchester United, and quite an exceptional character. To think that he's playing in an FA Cup semi-final, having experienced what he has, is something quite remarkable.
He's an amazing guy.
Game very disjointed in the last 5 minutes. The flow has been lost.
Well, one would suggest we're going to have quite a lump of added time at the end of this first half. We're nowhere near that yet. Ericsson. A little bit risky by Dunk. Well, here's March. Enciso checking to the edge of the area. March could pick him out, but doesn't look for him. I don't think Enciso's disappointed. But there is a corner.
Well, it was a wonderful McAllister ball, diagonal ball into that space for Solly March to run into. In the end, he just bringing it back on his favoured left foot. Superb delivery in behind that United defence. And Solly March is coming back onto his favoured left foot, and that's good defending, because he makes sure Dalot, he knows he's going to be attempting to cross with his left, denies him the chance to deliver the cross.
Gross to take the corner. Webster going first, leaving it for Dunk, coming in behind. Estupinian disguise. Shape to shoot. Mitoma. Estupinian fires it across. Shaw's there first for Manchester United.
And Martin Shaw made a fabulous physical challenge with Dunk when that first corner came in. He had to be strong, did Luke Shaw, to challenge Dunk, deny him a clear-cut header.
Yeah, Lewis Dunk scored 27 goals in his career for Brighton.
Well, he was the target, and Luke Shaw was the man detailed to mark him, and he did his job correctly.
Here's Webster. And Gross. Welbeck. Caicedo. McAllister. Estupinian from Mitoma. He's quick, he'll get there. But, very composed defending by Diogo Dalot. Take a touch and then pass it out and set Manchester United on their way, maybe.
It was great defending. He had two options. Mitoma getting to the byline. That was Welbeck and it was Solly Marsh, and he couldn't find either.
Mitoma, of course, is famously in the World Cup got that Japan ball that everybody thought had gone over the line to set up a goal. He got this one easily in comparison.
Well, you can see that was his options. He couldn't find either. And what a touch from Dalot, full of confidence, first control and then to clear.
Fernandez looking disgruntled this time, not the challenge, but at the angle of the pass. Gave him no real chance of collecting it. Half an hour gone. First part of it full of attacking intent and football that was very easy on the eye from both teams. And we've had this catalogue of stoppages. Right, trying to get going again. And Enciso. Mitoma. This is where they're so good. Can be very good. And Enciso following up. Well, he's allowed him to have the shot, I guess.
He struck it, but Wan-Bissaka's challenge had to be spot on. As Mitoma comes in off the line, Wan-Bissaka's making up ground from behind him, in from the side. That's a good challenge. Chance is there to strike from Enciso. He slices it just wide, but that is a good tackle from Wan-Bissaka.
It was a brilliant tackle.
Of which his teammates certainly praised him for, and rightly so.
He takes a bit of catching, Mitoma. And Wan-Bissaka, who is known for his speed defensively, is probably his #1 strength to make those sort of challenges. Hard person to get away from. And the right choice, you feel, against a very pacey dribbling player. Nauru. Mitoma making not just great strides, but very quick strides in the English football.
Well, Casado's penalised. He just nudges Martial in the back, who then does fall rather dramatically. Yes, there's a push. Over he goes. That's a poor challenge from Casado.
So one of a number of Brighton players being chased by so-called bigger clubs. It's not the richer clubs with greater resources. But this group, with Brighton, still want to do something special. But they've got to do a bit of special defending. To an Eriksson free kick. There's Anthony. It's a back across, but Brighton had just made Manchester United push back a bit and made it easier space for the goalkeeper.
Yes, good defending. As soon as the ball's cleared, they come up that 5 yards, clear the 6-yard box.
Dunk. Enciso. In this first half, besides attacking the goal behind which are the supporters of the side that's defending, I think the noise level will go up even higher in the second half. He's been quite quiet by his standards. He's had a couple of dismissals for Premier League dugouts.
Yeah, very reserved to this point, Mr. De Zerbi. Well, I think they're enjoying their day out. They'll be pleased with the way their team's gone about it. It has been, as we thought, a very tight semi-final.
Thought it was a rival for the Carlo Ancelotti eyebrow then, but not quite maybe. Here's Dunk.
It's interesting. De Zerbi is quite animated. Ten Hag has stood motionless, probably for a couple of minutes, literally like a statue in the Manchester United technical area, and he still hasn't moved yet.
Well, I'll be hoping his defenders don't stand like statues as Brighton press on.
He's taking his hands out of his pocket, Martin.
That counts as movement. Webster. Come and try and nick it off us and we'll play round you. That's what Brighton were trying to do and quite complete the intention. Toma chasing back.
Brilliant from Matoma.
It looked not dissimilar from Casemiro, but it was definitely not the same because he's booked for it.
Well, he's saying no, Casemiro, but the referee is kicking through the back. You cannot kick through the back of an opponent. No. That is a yellow card offence. The referee's absolutely right. Tries to win it initially there, but then look at the way that right leg goes through the back of McAllister. The referee's correct.
And you know what the rivalry between Brazil and Argentina is, and you've had a cameo of it there. But McAllister can show off his World Cup winners' medal, but he wants an FA Cup winners' medal now, and another step towards it, the penultimate step here. As for Matomo's, and that challenge I think got caught in the face. It's blood coming from his nose.
Well, it was a brilliant tackle, Martin, but yeah.
It was of the Wan-Bissaka textbook, wasn't it?
Absolutely, he's back on now.
Cisse trying to take it on the half turn, and then he makes the interception. Now he's on the ball. Gross. Welbeck wanted it crossed in. He's deciding not to do that either. Martial did well. Got the ball and then got the free kick.
And look at the Manchester United players surrounding Craig Paulson. They feel that Webster should get a yellow card for that challenge.
But this is something the game's got to deal with. There is too much surrounding of the officials by players, partly because they keep asking for VAR, which is there anyway.
But the difference there is that he actually is pulling out of the challenge. He does make contact, yes. Ten Hag's furious, but he makes contact, but he's not kicking through the back of the opponent. That's the difference, I feel, in the interpretation from the referee. He doesn't feel that warrants a yellow card for the nature of the challenge.
Robert Jones, the fourth official, trying to explain that to Erik ten Hag. Dallo. 7 minutes of regulation time to go to half-time, but there will be a fair bit to add, one feels. Eriksson, now Martial, and Wan-Bissaka away, and Matoma's got to defend again. Anthony. It's the kind of game where you feel scoring first will mean a huge amount. Manchester United looking to do it here. Bruno Fernandes stopped efficiently and emphatically.
Well, he ran into
Estupiñán.
He just stood his ground, and Fernandes just ran into him. He screamed, he hit the deck. I think he's all right. Tries to cut back, and you see Estupiñán just holds his ground. Good defending.
Well, he's a strong character, the Brighton left back. Strong of mind, strong of body. Bruno Fernandes has more of an artistic temperament. Eriksson. Dallo setting off ahead of him, but Eriksson played the safer pass. Lindelof, a little burst.
Martin, it's a game that's just bubbling under at the moment.
Dallo. And stop the cross is the message to Moises Caicedo, and stop it he did.
Yeah, good defending. Again, always the call when defending for in wide position, stop the crosses coming in. Caicedo does a good job there, but does obviously concede the corner.
'41st minute. Christian Eriksen. It's a very deep one. Lindelof will be the target. Matoma breaks out. Supported by March, but pass just made him put the brakes on.
Just slightly overhit.
Had 3 or 4 other players he could have played the ball to. Here's Gross. Good pressure by Shaw, prepared to go in there and joust with Welbeck. And Cesar caught by Lindelof. Does like to take the ball on the half turn, the Paraguayan. It's a real skill, and defenders hate it.
Absolutely, Martin. There's been 2 or 3 occasions where he just receives the ball, twisting and turning. You can see Lindelof's pulling the shirt off his back as he's spinning away from him. The way he's accepting the ball, he's asking real questions of those United centre-halves.
There might have been a few more fouls than that, but
it's just like the game is pretty even. 5-4.
Yeah. Not all the stoppages have been through fouls. What are you thinking here, Clive, as a player for Brighton? Get to half-time as we are and come again, or?
I think maintain this game plan, the way they're setting about it, the football they're playing, the way they're trying to open up Manchester United.
And here's Lindelof just getting to it.
Well, Matoma got the run on Wan-Bissaka, and Lindelof read it well to come across.
So they're trying to nick it well forward. Good defensive header by Adam Webster. Eriksen trying to ease it out to Rashford, who's hardly had involvement in the game.
He has had a quiet first half as Marcus Rashford.
We got that blow in the ribs. He has been out for a couple of games recently. Fantastic season, 28 goals. Dunk. And Cesar nearly ran back for the Paraguayan. Eriksen.
Good pressure again from Caicedo on Eriksen, not allowing him to pick the pass as he's trying to just break those lines in Brighton's midfield, Christian Eriksen.
A word from the far side. Under the dugout says it's going to be 3 added minutes. Oh, here's Bruno Fernandes with a chance to make the most of the regulation time that's left.
Martin, that's a big chance, but it's really well crafted by Manchester United, and a wonderful side foot volley from Casemiro to give the chance for Fernandes, and he's just slightly pulled across it. That volley, superbly passed, weighted into his path, can't hit the target.
Martial's just shot him a glance to say, well, you could have slid that across. You can see the Frenchman was unattended at the far post. It's always difficult to hit those shots from that kind of angle and keep them absolutely straight. Well, you just cut across the ball a little bit.
Unless it's hit perfectly, there's only a small window to hit on that far side.
I see so in a wrestling match with Shaw. But then went on the chase.
There's too much of that in the game for me, Martin. Just players pulling, grabbing, just wrestling with one another in challenges.
De Gea had a disastrous night on Thursday. It would be just like him to have a peerless performance here. Martial, well, he saw the goalkeeper off his line, and it was worth the try.
And what a chance, he knows, because Sanchez is out of his penalty box. As that ball is turned over, you can see he's backpedaling. He gets back as far as his penalty spot. But Martial just trying to chip it over him into the empty net.
Here's McAllister. March, all he could do. He got his head to it. It might have been better just letting it go out, because Manchester United can build from here. Brighton tried to press and stop that happening. Casemiro.
Well, there's a little tap from McAllister. There's words now between him and Casemiro. De Zerbi is not happy with that decision anyway.
Erik ten Hag's got out of De Zerbi's verbal firing line.
It just seemed to me, just from his body language, Martin, his concerns about his team and the way that they're playing at the moment.
Lindelof's header. Nicely done by Bruno Fernandes. Eriksen going for the Hollywood pass. And it's found Marcus Rashford. Half-time closing and Manchester United closing in, and Eriksen found himself on the end of a move that he played a big part in.
And I think he just mishit it. What a sensational pass off the outside of his right boot to Marcus Rashford. Watch this, the touch, and that is superb. Rashford stays on side. He's then one-on-one with Gross, picks out the supporting Eriksen, but that shot into the ground just allows Sanchez to clear right with his right boot.
Closing seconds before half-time. Martial sliding, Luke Shaw not quite in. Clive, what have you? How would you score it at this point at 0-0, if you know what I mean?
At 0-0,
yeah.
I think if you looked at,
taking the boxing analogy, who's landed the better blows so far?
I think it's just been an even contest. Yeah. Neither side has really taken control, and when there's been the moments, and there's been few of them, they just haven't had that cutting edge, either team, to make it count.
There's another moment.
Martin, they're out, but only just the way out.
That's the margins of the half, really. Can they make it count? Here's March. And it's half-time. Well, it's flown by.
Yeah, but that was bizarre, because the referee blew the whistle as Solly March is crossing the ball.
Well, Christian Eriksen had a shot late in the half, but was plenty from Brighton to be pleased with. They haven't quite worked De Gea maybe as much as they could have done. Mitoma had his moments. Bruno Fernandes has been in and out of it. And his best parts have been very good. Been a bit grumpy as well. It's been football-wise good, but physically as well. It's been a strong game, and we reach half-time without a goal, and we're still nearer knowing who'll play Manchester City early in June in the FA Cup final. It'll all unfold after the break. The second is underway, and I'm sure many of you have noted that unusually Manchester United have won all 4 rounds to get to the semi-final by 3-1. That's 12 goals in total. The last 11 of those 12 have come in the second half, which is a positive omen for that man.
It certainly is, but I think he'll take one at the moment just to get his team in front. And the way this game is unfolding, it could well be that one goal that is going to make the difference.
Header by Webster. Caicedo. Here's March. Very left-footed from the right. The inverted winger, as they're called. It almost feels like Manchester United believe there will be errors made by Brighton. They've sort of digging in, waiting for those mistakes to happen. There have been 2 or 3 that the team from the South Coast have got away with. And here comes Anthony, who started the first half well and then faded, but he's not fading here. He's trying to roll it across to Martial, and Estupiñán nearly took it back into trouble.
But Martial just didn't attack the space at the near post area. Anthony just rolled it into that area, expecting Martial to attack it, and he didn't. And tidied up by the Brighton defence once again. It's a good break. He's one-on-one with Dunk. You see with his head up, he's looking for the options. It's just a pass into that area. Martial, for me, a fraction late. Should really be trying to get across the front of Webster.
Anthony again, taken from him by a combination of McAllister and Mitoma. Anthony has stayed down. Estupiñán to March. Still going. Plenty back. Give it back to Solly March, Manchester United. Real scramble.
Well, it's Casemiro that just almost passed the ball back to Solly March. Really sloppy.
Here's Dunk. Now Mitoma. McAllister. Well, again, Enciso just trying to kick the defender in and roll in behind. It's his signature move, it seems. March. Caicedo, Estupiñán. He who hesitates loses the ball. Brighton have it back, and they're making a strong start to this second half.
And they are probing, they're keeping the ball high up the field, looking
March.
for that pass.
Corner.
That can make the all-important chance. Good start from Brighton and Hove Albion.
Well, some teams really believe in crowding David De Gea. It's not the Brighton way. What is the Brighton way is to, as you spotted in the first half, Clive, to have a second player out there.
Yeah, that's just for the variation across. Right-footed outswinger, left-footed in-swinger. Looks like it's coming in swinging. The 3 headers for Brighton are on the penalty spot.
And one of them is Lewis Dunk, who heads it back to Estupiñán, who goes for power and sacrifices accuracy.
Well, it's clever. Dunk heads it back for Estupiñán. He takes a touch, pulls away, soft cushion header. He then takes a touch but fires wildly.
Well, Manchester United haven't got going yet in the second half. Well, to be fair, there was that break from Anthony that Martial could have attacked much better than he did. It's been predominantly the Seagulls in the loft.
Well, I do wonder if their travels and the result on Thursday night might play a part the longer this game goes on as well, Marty.
And he wasn't sure, the assistant, that whether it ran down. Anthony thought it did, off Estupiñán. We are not amused. Dunk. Estupiñán trying to lure Manchester United in here. Not wanting to go long. Actually, they do win a free kick.
Yeah, Martial on Caicedo. He's trying to defend from the front. He's the Manchester United centre forward.
Zerbi made his name in Italy with the Sassuolo, a small club, but he made very competitive in Serie A. Then he went to Ukraine at the wrong time. He had 30 games in charge of Shakhtar Donetsk before the world changed. Off goes Enciso. De Gea finding Shaw. Shaw finding Dalot. It's a bit short, and Caicedo stepped in, and Luke Shaw's going to be booked for that.
Really
taking
clever.
one for the team.
Absolutely. Caicedo did brilliant. First to take the ball away from Casemiro there and around him, and when he toes that ball forward, the challenge from Shaw was one of stop him at all costs.
Cost being a yellow card for the stand-in centre-back. Played a lot of games here for England as the left-back, scored, of course, in the Euro 2020 final. Dunk, get to it, he did get to it. Enciso, Martial, not looking like a defender really.
Just did enough, Martin, in the end.
Here's McAllister. Brighton asking the questions.
Well, it's Brighton taking the game to United, who are sitting back. They just seem to be happy to defend and wait for that slight mistake, or wait for the opportunity with the turnover of the ball to counter.
Enciso, cross goes Lindelof, gets the ball. Concern for the ex-Manchester United player, the current one. I thought he went out off the official. Talking at half-time, Clive, about Pascal Gross, who's a prophet without honour in his homeland, as the old saying goes. He's not really rated in German football. He's done a wonderful job, Brighton, in very different circumstances, as a side fighting for their lives to stay in the Premier League, and now a side that's going to qualify for Europe from the Premier League.
And I think, as we see today, his versatility is quite incredible, and De Zerbi will appreciate that.
Here's Dunk. He's trying to make the space to play into. Manchester United come up with an answer. Stupinian. Caught by Anthony. Greg Paulson lets the game go on. Thomas grateful for that. He's isolated Wan-Bissaka here. Well played, the defender. Anthony. Bruno Fernandes is down again.
I just feel Brighton are a little bit sharper. They're a little bit quicker at the moment, Martin. They're a little bit pedestrian, Manchester United, not moving the ball quick enough, getting caught too often in possession of the ball.
They're looking like a group of players, many of whom played on Thursday. Webster. And that sense of fatigue only enhanced, really, as Brighton get a corner.
Well, should he have cleared it first time? I think he's probably feeling that now. He's tried to control it as Lindelof, and in the end concedes the corner.
If they do go short this time. Dunk coming round the back. Toma, fire it through a lot of bodies. Oh! It was Enciso's drive in the end that De Gea dealt with.
Oh, it's a fabulous strike from Enciso. Snapshot with that left foot. Casemiro headed off the line. I think it's Webster's header that's cleared by Casemiro. Mitoma fires it in, and in the end, Enciso, instinctive strike. That might well just be staying under the crossbar. De Gea, good fingertip save.
And then Enciso got the better of a Spanish goalkeeper at Stamford Bridge last weekend, Kepa Arrizabalaga, who's taken over from David De Gea in the national team.
Well, that was a right foot thunderbolt, wasn't it, Martin? This was a left foot snapshot, which De Gea did well to keep out.
Webster going in again, and round the back.
Chance, that's a big chance.
Annoyed Danny Welbeck, but he didn't convert it. He did score with a header at Chelsea.
And you see, he breaks off of the shoulder of Martial. That's a clear header. He'll be really disappointed he hasn't headed that down on target.
He'll be doing it too. They are taking on the team that's, or the club that's played more FA Cup semi-finals than any other. It's the 31st for Manchester United today. Only the 3rd for Brighton. They got to the final and lost to Manchester United in 1983. They beat Sheffield Wednesday. And in 2019 they lost to the eventual winners Manchester City. And there's action from Erik ten Hag. Fred's getting ready to come on, provide a bit of energy in the middle of the field where they're getting outmanoeuvred at the moment, putting a lot of pressure on the back line and now the goalkeeper.
I agree, Martin. I think certainly he needs to impact his team, does the manager, and that time's approaching the hour mark.
Here is Anthony. He was trying to whip it inside. That's his, I suppose, his signature goal, isn't it? When he comes in on his left foot. Let's talk about inverted wingers. He's one.
Well, that is his favourite side. Fernandes does really well with a little pass into him. Then he goes on the overlap. He wants it cut back into his path, does Fernandes. But Anthony's always going inside, looking for that left foot shot. Appreciates and acknowledges the run. But he just had one thing in his mind there.
Dunk surveying the scene here at Wembley. Almost an hour gone in the second semi-final. Done and dusted by this time yesterday, really, with that Riyad Mahrez hat-trick for Manchester City against Sheffield United. The first semi-final hat-trick since one for Manchester United, even before Clive's time. I do remember it. Alex Dawson against Fulham in 1958, which is a very poignant year, of course, for the Old Trafford club.
I wasn't born, Martin.
Here's McAllister. March. And it's a touch from De Gea. It's a throw-in.
And it was Estupiñán who was forward there. When that direct pass went forward, it's Estupiñán who tries to control it, but it pops out to McAllister, who feeds it wide to March, and this time he goes with a right foot cross. And again, that's an important touch from De Gea.
Webster got a bit lucky. Casemiro reckoned with a bit of space to loft the ball into, and he was absolutely right. So Marcus Rashford, of whom we've seen precious little, really. Stopped by Webster.
He got back, Martin. He was dispossessed higher up the field, but he got back with Webster to dispossess Rashford.
Lovely touch by March. One from Caicedo. Wan-Bissaka steps in. He was fouled. He's gone and got the ball with gusto. Now he's really being put back. But the referee letting play go on, which is right. And Anthony's got a chance because of it. Toma gets it away.
It's brilliant refereeing. Manchester United nearly capitalise on the advantage. I just think he's going to come back and book Estupiñán when the game does eventually stop.
Anthony. There's a bit of a push by Casemiro in the middle. Oh, and now Frank Paulson has turned away from that one as well. That did look like a break was on for
Enciso spinning in behind Lindelof there.
Well, in trying to let the game flow, could easily have stopped it for Estupinian, but it was a good advantage for Manchester United. Christian Eriksen is coming off just past the hour mark. Replaced by Fred. Was he given the foul here? I don't know he did. Enciso was interrupted, shall we say.
Well, the referee has just signalled that it's a throw-in, Martin,
yeah. So
I
don't think he would have given it straight away, wouldn't he, if he'd seen it was quite close to it. So, yeah. The team need a bit of refuelling as well.
Well, for me, Estupinian is very fortunate.
Yeah. It wasn't particularly violent, was it? But had the game been stopped, he would certainly been booked. But because it wasn't stopped, he's got the benefit, I guess, of the referee letting the game go. In the way by Caicedo, it's a rare misplaced pass in the second half from Brighton.
But a good Manchester United press, which we haven't seen in this second half.
Lindelof. Casemiro, it's another well-delivered pass if there's a runner, and the runner was Bruno Fernandes. Antony closing in again, pushed away by Sanchez. Retrieved by Martial. Much better from Manchester United. It was much needed. Shaw. Martial. Here's Rashford. Taken down by Enciso.
Good spell for Manchester United. And Antony with the shot didn't really hit it with any power, that was pushed away by Sanchez. But United pressing, keep the ball alive. And then Rashford through McAllister's legs, takes it away from Enciso, pull back from behind, and United free kick. This was a Casemiro ball in behind Fernandes, who run. As soon as that ball went square, he took off, knew where Antony was. It wasn't the fiercest of shots, and Sanchez once again
he's hit a
keeps
couple
it
of
out.
Casemiro, hasn't he? Turned the defenders. But it only looks really good if there's somebody running into that channel.
Yeah, it's a ball into the space, but it is all about the runners.
It's all been part of a slight change in the tide here. It's flowing Brighton's way.
Well, a really good position, free kick-wise, for Manchester United.
Well, a couple of major candidates, Bruno Fernandes, replacement and stealth, whip and dip.
Yeah, Fred the
Marcus Rashford, who just puts his foot through it.
Yeah, Fred the substitute, just been told to go and make extra numbers in the wall.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they've
done.
done.
Not allowed to be there unless you're a metre away. I think that's what the Brighton players are saying, and Craig Pawson have just gone to enforce that part of the legislation. It has to be a metre away. That's just about now. Rashford, Martial rather, has gone wandering across. So take your pick from these two. It's Fernandes. The ball, Fernandes again into the crowd.
Well, you can see the frustration on his face, and it is a poorly struck free kick in terms of the height. It's never going up and over that wall. Webster, you can see, just punches after making the block.
So Joel Veltman, who has more often than not been in the team, an experienced signing from Ajax, Dutch international, and the youngster Julio Enciso, certainly again given us more than a glimpse of the talent that Brighton have brought into by bringing in another player from another South American country.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic young talent, and Ciso, a big game, and he's acquitted himself very, very well.
So Veltman will go to right back, one assumes. Which will allow Gross to play a bit further forward, maybe a bit more centrally as well.
Yeah, Gross going in there, almost matching up now with Fred, who's been introduced by Manchester United.
The scuff pass from Caicedo. Shaw stepping in. Fred. Hasn't been the most successful period in Manchester United's history the last 5 or 6 years, but there are plenty of players with winners' medals in their ranks, maybe not all with this club, but most of them were winners here at Wembley just 8 weeks ago against Newcastle. We've had quite a day today, incidentally. Casemiro. Martial won't get there.
Well, it's a clever attempt. He scoops that ball over the top of Brighton's defence. But the run of Martial couldn't get on the end of it.
Manchester United have had to eliminate 3 fellow Premier League sides, and Everton, West Ham and Fulham. Fulham was ended up in a chaotic situation where the manager and 2 players were sent off.
Yeah, I think you would say Brighton have had the slightly easier of runs to get here.
But they did knock out the holders, Clive, didn't they? Liverpool.
Absolutely, which was an amazing result. You have to beat everybody to win this.
Well, they beat Grimsby from League 2. It's part of their progress. Forward it goes from Shaw. Backed up for Manchester United by Casemiro. Wan-Bissaka. This Peters out though for Ten Hag's team.
That last 5 minutes, a better spell from Manchester United.
It's unlucky. It was another indication how they want to play there. Even the longer passes from the back are passes, not just clearances.
Such a difficult pass, a diagonal to into the path of the on-running fullback.
Should have squeezed that through and reached Fernandez. Martial. He's on the chase. Flag is up. "20 minutes of the 90 left." And of course, the recognition of extra time, should it be required? Penalties, should they be required? Has happened actually here before for Manchester United. They lost the semi-final on penalties to Everton. Berbatov and Rio Ferdinand were the culprits in the shootout. Just in time. Development. Martial. Bit of grabbing by Webster.
There's good hold-up play into his feet. See, keeping his body between the ball and Webster, and then in the end he just hooks his ankle away from him.
Fred. Lindelof. Fred. It's a bundle of energy. Good solid defending by Solly March on that far side. Fred has scored a couple of goals in this progress to the semi-final for Manchester United against Reading and West Ham. Dunk, fizzing it forward to Estupiñán. And left back of the attacking persuasion. McAllister. Here's Welbeck. He took as much of the man, if not more of the man, than the ball. Free kick in Lindelof's favour.
Slightly heavy touch, Martin, as that ball's fed to him by Solly March. It's a clever ball. Plays the 1-2, goes for the return. Then Lindelof across. He crashes into Lindelof. Might well have been suffered a little bit of a dead leg himself there as they come together.
You mentioned 18-year-old Evan Ferguson, Brighton's top scorer in the FA Cup, with 3 goals. Not fit today. Welbeck, a different end of his career, really, a different part of his career towards the end. Ex-England, we have to call him now, but a good international career. And very popular figure in the game. Now Dennis Undav.
Substitution for Brighton, leaving the field, number 18.
Going to replace Welbeck. Ruefully, but in the end sensibly.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Danny Welbeck.
Being replaced by number 21, Dennis Undav.
Undav has scored in the 3rd round at Middlesbrough, a big win, and in the quarter-final home to Grimsby in a big win. So he's got a feeling for the FA Cup. Can he make himself a hero for Brighton?
You're right, Martin. Opportunity knocks now for him.
Here's Martial, maybe opportunity knocking for Manchester United, and not this time. But maybe this time. Anthony. Bruno Fernandes able to turn. And Sanchez, although he had to reach out forward rather than take it in the line of his body, he's always going to get there before Anthony Martial.
Well, there's a bit of an inquest going on that Manchester United front line when Fernandes turned with the ball. They thought he might well have struck it before chipping it towards that back post area.
I don't think he realised how much room he had.
I think that was what was being said. He was saying that he just wasn't given the information.
Here's Dunk. And again. McAllister will play a bit further forward now, with Gross in midfield. It's a real difference in terms of fixtures. It's Brighton's 37th, Manchester United's 53rd. So if freshness is a factor, maybe it we'll see the Seagulls producing a firm finish here. And it's Dallow on the break. Advantage played again well by Craig Pawson.
Well, Casado's on the floor, but it was his challenge. But Dallow
they don't like to show the yellow card until the player gets up. Which is why players stay down a bit.
He did catch Dallow because he released the ball to Marcus Rashford.
Across,
that is late. That is a poor challenge. Advantage played once again by referee Craig Pawson.
Caicedo's the kind of players always in the thick of the mix in midfield. And from the top of the club, Tony Bloom runs it with extraordinary diligence and expertise. I'll be thinking, surely we're going to win a big one here and get to an FA Cup final. He will remember the one back in 1983.
Well, Rashford's on the floor. Veltman stepped in front of him. He felt he was clipped. And that last break from Brighton, just sloppy from Estupiñán at that last moment, the vital moment when you need that quality of pass. Just sloppy off the outside of his boot, gave the ball away needlessly.
Webster. It has been a bit like that, hasn't it? Both sides have got into a position where a good final ball might produce a goal to get into a final. Not quite managed that key last pass, but here's March now, given away by Shaw. Webster, I don't think, can avoid a yellow card this time. He's run away to try and avoid it. Craig Pawson has been keeping his cards close to his chest, shall we say.
He has, yeah. And I thought maybe just the theatrics of Martial here. Yes, he pulls him, but then the way he throws himself to the ground, free kick given rightly.
I think there's a certain amount of consistency here in not showing the card. We're almost into the territory where, like that famous training game, first goal wins.
Yeah,
or next goal wins.
It's getting to that sort of time.
Yeah. Joel Veltman. Now Dunk. Toma might get there. Dropped off Wan-Bissaka. There's McAllister. Caicedo. March. Now Gross. And the thread's there.
And that was just an example of it, Martin.
Yeah.
Solly Marsh's pass was just not precise enough. Gross then has to adjust his run. Fred's across quickly and the whole move breaks down. And even for two sets of players with experience, Premier League experience, you're going into the period of the game where you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to slip. Whether it's you're just not going to take that little bit of risk that could be costly.
Mitchell van der Gaag and Steve McLaren flanking Erik ten Hag. Bit of a brains trust going on there. Brighton going on here. Mitoma. Estupiñán. Caicedo. Have a change of direction again. Ooh, and he's blocked up now Casemiro's on a yellow card, but I don't think he did too much wrong. The referee's letting this go on as well.
Well, did Casemiro foul? Then was he fouled? But the referee's just waved two possible decisions for free kicks away, and the game goes on.
Yeah.
And amazingly, the players are up and are back in the action very quickly.
Yeah, Casemiro's not fully focused on the ball. He is now. Of course, he's been sent off twice in his first season with Manchester United. Here's March. Still going. And De Gea got it the first time and got it the second time as Pascal Gross tried to feed on the rebound. He could have been offside.
Well, Solly March coming off that right side, looking for the angle on his favoured left foot. Shapes to hit it the first time, moves it again, then tries to pull it back into that near post. De Gea had to be smartly down through Fred's legs. That's a good left hand, and he doesn't push it out. He manages to claim it before Gross can knock it into the net.
Talk of a new contract for David De Gea, despite the errors that are always so public for a goalkeeper, particularly a Manchester United goalkeeper. But there is the suggestion that it will be on reduced terms. I don't think it will involve any great hardship for the De Gea family.
And I think he's wanting to stay, isn't he?
Yeah. Jadon Sancho played an interesting part in that Fulham game. It was his shot that was handled on the line by Willian, which led to a penalty, Willian being sent off, and also the reaction from Marco Silva, the Fulham manager, and Alexander Mitrovic, who picked up an 8-game suspension for what he did. Here's McAllister. Caught by Anthony. Well, club football's pretty tough in Argentina as well. And I think Alexis McAllister, who comes from a footballing family, of course, knows how to withstand the knocks. But it's been a game with plenty of tackles, Clive.
There's been lots of tackles. You're right, the referee has been consistent with the way that he's interpreting them and issuing yellow cards.
McAllister, reverse, took Stupinian by surprise. A real tussle with Anthony. Picked in by Matoma, but free kick given in Manchester United's favour.
Substitution for Manchester United.
Well, it was a surprise when the team sheet came out with Martial's name on it. But Eric Ten Hag has said in the last couple of weeks, we played better football when Martial's in the team. So you can understand why he took a chance, and it's got 85 minutes out of it.
Well, he is the leader of the line. He's that centre forward. It's now meant Sancho's come on the left. Marcus Rashford is now going to play down the middle for United.
Webster getting in front of Rashford. Stupinian. Gross played Webster into trouble. And Webster just got out of it.
And Webster's back pass and then his follow-through has actually caught Marcus Rashford, who's now on the deck.
Today's attendance here at Wembley Stadium is 81,445.
Well, he has a look. He can certainly feel that Marcus Rashford is on his shoulder, but playing the ball and the follow-through just catches Rashford's left ankle.
Of course, there is an extra substitute allowed in extra time. Challenge by Caicedo, but Manchester United got on the ball and got Sancho into the game. Dalot, Fred, Sancho trying to place it. Corner.
Well, the shot he tries to wind into the far corner was deflected away for the corner. Set by Fred, he just moves the ball a fraction. And it's Solly March who gets the left boot to it to deflect it away.
Bruno Fernandes. Time ticking on, extra time approaching. Great time to score. Mitoma is the furthest forward. Won't be fazed by that and make sure finds March. He's done very well after that tweak of the ankle quite early in the game. He'll still be out there causing Manchester United problems. Here he is. McAllister able to turn space between the lines. He ran on to Undav, and it does go behind for a corner.
Well, it was deflected into Undav's path, and Wan-Bissaka just had to tidy up and concede the corner.
Seconds plus we're hearing 3 minutes. Brighton trying to produce a goal which would have those fans we're looking at behind that goal in raptures. That would have Brighton in the cup final, it would seem, this late stage. Second touch was important from Sancho.
Well, Marcus Rashford back there doing his defensive job at the near post to head that away.
Dunk. Extra time you sense would suit Brighton, given Manchester United's travel schedule. Sancho, Mitoma going all the way through to Undav, cleared by Lindelof. Sancho gives chase.
Yeah, right from the beginning, Martin, we wondered what the toll would be on this Manchester United squad. Not only just playing and travelling from Thursday, but also psychologically the defeat that they suffered as well.
Estupinian, cleverly winning a corner.
Well, their supporters are up this end, and they're perhaps sensing just one last opportunity that could win this FA Cup semi-final.
I think of the great finals, the Wigan goal 10 years ago from a corner, so close to the end, beat Manchester City of all teams. Brighton looking to knock out Manchester United and play Manchester City here in June. It's over the top from March.
Just too high for Solly March to head down.
Nearly a case of March in April to play in June.
Very good.
Maybe. Awkward for Wan-Bissaka, less so for Mitoma. Been encouraged to go for it here. just overran it, and in his wish to... It was a genuine attempt to keep the ball, but it was a late lunge.
And he caught Casemiro as he just really swiped the ball away.
Can be no complaints, and indeed there weren't.
No, as you can see, he's tackling out of distance as well.
He's either scored or assisted in all 4 of Brighton's cup ties in the earlier rounds to get to the semi-final.
I've got to say Wan-Bissaka's played him well, because he certainly is a threat coming off the left onto his favoured right side.
It cost a lot of money for the fans to purchase tickets for today, and much as they would like their respective teams to have booked a place to return in June, they wouldn't mind an extra half an hour for their cash.
Well, I do think they're going to get it, and no one's leaving. I'm sure there's drama in store.
Gross. March. Out to Mitoma. Saw stooping out on the gallop. Casemiro, but it's the end of the 90 minutes. Craig Pawson had a busy time dealing with a lot of challenges in the efforts to get to the FA Cup final. De Gea made an excellent save from Enciso in particular. In March, later on, Brighton looked like they might have the freshness, and they can show that in extra time. But we reach it, and we go to 15 minutes each way, remember, at Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Extra time at Wembley, second FA Cup semi-final, Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. A change during the end of 90 minutes before we restart. Marcel Sabitzer is on for Anthony. Formalities start again. Always, of course, gets interesting when it's a toss for penalties, which end when you've got a ground like this where it clearly belongs, one end belongs to Brighton, one end belongs to Manchester United, but we might not get that far. We might. It's been a well-matched semi-final, and Sabitzer has his chance to make a mark on it.
Yeah, and I think first time maybe Ten Hag will change the shape of his team with Sabitzer coming into that midfield area. Bruno Fernandes, I think, will play slightly wider, but not on the touchline.
Here's Fred, came on as well, of course, as did Jadon Sancho. Veltman and Undav for Brighton. Dunk. Lindelof across. How much is it a reboot when you have that 90-minute break and you go again? We saw both coaches having strong words, but do they penetrate the ears of the players? Well,
there might be one or two little instructions delivered, but very much the same. I'm sure they're preaching exactly the same as they did from the start of the game. I don't think the players really want to stop. They just want to get into the extra time period as well.
It's a good try.
Well, Casemiro's just dropped a little bit deeper to pick up McAllister. He's playing the furthest forward of those Brighton midfield players. Finding the space, striking the shot. The stadium a little bit flat, Martin.
I think they're going again. They're getting there. Not much chance to go out and get a cup of tea here. Big queues. And we're back, of course, where we were in the first half, with the teams attacking the end where their supporters aren't. Maybe that's partly responsible for it, but Brighton attacking, that's what matters. March again. Fred gets a foot in. Cleared by Lindelof, and Rashford saying, "Can you just have rolled it into me?"
Well, they've certainly learnt Manchester United from that earlier strike from Solly March when he comes in off that right side onto his favoured left foot. Quickly, Casemiro was across. They were happy to keep sending him across the field.
Back to Webster. It's been a defender's day so far, despite the best efforts of some very talented attackers. Shaw. Back round the corner by Casemiro. Dunk was in. As if emphasising the point that defenders are having a good afternoon, now early evening here.
And Martin, Bruno Fernandes is definitely limping. He's not moving freely at all now. Since the stop after the end of 90 minutes, he seems to have seized up.
Oh, Undav. Oh. A very poor touch. And a very good chance evaporates for Brighton.
Really neat, tidy passing from Brighton, and Undav just needs that first touch as it's fed through to him. And that's a heavy touch away.
Brighton press on again, undeterred. Dunk. Estupinian. Very deep cross. Dallo underneath it. Gross. Lovely turn. Cross for Matoma, too long just for Matoma. But he appreciates the talent and the technique and the tactic. Come on.
I just sense, Martin, that Manchester United are becoming a little weary. Don't quite have that spring in their step. It's understandable.
Yeah, it's obviously related to being in Spain, finishing late on Thursday, but the schedule for month after month really has been very demanding, and a lot of competitions. Of course, you're doing well when you're in those competitions.
And that's the chance. What's an opportunity for substitute Undav. De Zerbi's not happy. All about that first touch that sets you up for the strike.
Good header by Estupinian. Caicedo. Tenacious work by McAllister.
It's brilliant from McAllister, the way that he rolls it off the outside of his right boot around Lindelof, holds him at bay. In the end, the Manchester United centre-half just has to haul him down. Look, pulling his shirt, not going to let him run away, and takes the yellow card.
That's a decent try. We haven't had many long-range shots. And that from Caicedo. So both centre-backs are booked for Manchester United. And Casemiro in front of them.
Yeah, and just that tired challenge, the lunge that can be so costly.
Duncan's another header. He's only played once for England. The Brighton fans think that's very much unfair. He hasn't had greater recognition.
Well, an outstanding defender, there's no doubt about that, but for me, starts everything off that's good about Brighton. Confident on the ball, will start their moves off.
And talking of confidence on the ball, here's Jadon Sancho. Dalot, Sancho, feed it in. Good glance by Sabitzer. Just needed a bit more contact.
But that's what he does from that midfield position. You can see he's the furthest forward United player as that ball's crossed into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a clever header, just trying to ease it back into that far post area. Fraction off with the direction.
Space for Brighton. March. Little telegraph for Gross. Sancho. Halfway through the first period of extra time. A one-sided semi-final yesterday, anything but here today.
No, this is as close as it can be.
Sancho, Dalot. That's a run from Rashford. The flag has stayed down. Back for Sancho. A swing and a miss from Fred. Flag
Offside.
has now gone up. Yeah, he did look offside, but we've learned to wait like the assistants wait.
You have to wait, Martin.
Yeah. Ian Hussein.
See Rashford taking off. Dunk steps up to come in line with Webster, and Rashford is offside.
Manchester United have got Mount Weghorst and Tyrell Malacia ready to come on. Here's Mitoma. Still Mitoma. Oh, wrong decision. That has been the story, particularly for Brighton, I think.
Well, Undaf makes a good angle, but I just thought Mitoma was going to take it on his own.
Go straight through the middle like Mahrez did here yesterday.
He did brilliantly to sort of evade the attentions of Lindelof, then trying to slide it into Undaf's path. What a chance that was to go on and strike from Mitoma.
Bruno Fernandes race is finally run. Wan-Bissaka's off as well. So Dalot will go to right back, Malacia to left back. And Weghorst, one assumes, will either play right through the middle, right up top, or just off. He's done that a couple of times. On loan from Burnley. Not everybody's cup of tea, but for Erik ten Hag, he's like, he brought him in, knows him from Dutch football, of course.
Well, a different option.
Yeah. A genuine target man. There he goes.
Exactly for that. Just that physical presence, the challenge, the target to go into.
Gets Rashford back on the left, which I think he particularly wants to play through the middle.
Well, Sancho has gone right. Rashford's come back out to the left now. Weghorst is going straight through the middle.
Here's Casemiro, pocket pick by Undav. Certainly had the best chance of extra time, but he didn't make the best use of that forward run. And now it's 4 against 4. Here's Fred. It's a real chance for Manchester United, and there was a cutback that was on. Instead, he tried to slide it across where Weghorst might have got a tap in. Rashford can't make any progress. Veltman loses out. Malacia, Casemiro, he loses out. Caicedo driving forward. Mitoma, who's done so much for Brighton this season. And again, so near, yet so far.
Well, the chances for both teams have come from just sloppy passes in the final third that could end up being costly at the other end of the field. Undav's ended up with Manchester United and Fred in this position. He's trying to find Weghorst. I thought the cutback for Sancho was the ball. That has to be so precise to find Weghorst. But Sancho on the edge of the box was furious with Fred.
But if you were playing, you'd want where Fred played it.
Yeah, but you've got to get across the front post in that respect, because it was just such a difficult ball to deliver for Fred, and Sancho was in such a better position, but he just wasn't aware of him.
I say that having commentated on many a goal that you scored in that predatory position. Almost at the end of the first period of extra time.
And that's what happens when a centre forward comes on and you have to contest those aerial duels. Dunks on the floor. He's saying he was caught by Weghorst.
Well, they're here all ages. It might seem very long to the very young. We've still got plenty to go here, and we're still in that state of uncertainty about the second team to complete the FA Cup final. It's a wonderful competition.
Well, nothing between these sides.
Webster. Caicedo's given it away. Rashford. Fred. Sancho. Rashford! Wonderful save by Sanchez. Wonderful save.
That is a sensational save, because I think it takes a deflection on the way through, Martin, as well. It's set brilliantly for Marcus Rashford to strike. Brighton overplaying Manchester United, and there's the set from Sancho, and the strike just clipping Webster's leg. Hits his left shin, bounces up. Great reaction from the keeper.
Yeah, took it even further away, but he's a very tall man, Sanchez. He used all of the reach there. Fred. Robert Sanchez. The full extent of him. Foul by Weghorst. Moving ball. Even if the referee didn't spot it, VAR would have spotted it. So.
Yeah, and it wasn't taken from the right place either, Martin.
Well, that doesn't always deter referees. Well, here we are, half-time. Still nothing on the scoreline. Absolutely nothing between these two semi-finalists. But Robert Sanchez kept that alive, that situation, with the moment of the half at his end, and Undav's failure at the other end could have given Brighton the lead, but still no goals. We have a pause, and then we go again for 15 more minutes.
Well, for the final period, Martin, they're playing towards their own support. Is that going to be advantageous? Who's going to make the most noise and draw their team in?
Well, when you go to see a variety show, top of the bill comes on last, and this period of extra time might top what we've seen so far, which has been engrossing. And lacked only that real killer moment, that top quality in the final third. And the occasional time it has happened, the goalkeepers have been right up to the challenges they faced.
Yeah, but it's been a fantastic contest, it really has.
Malacia. I'm sure Craig Pawson saw all of that, but he recognised it was a goal kick. No protests from Manchester United.
Well, the players weren't, but certainly the supporters are trying to influence the referee there, which happens.
Yeah. We've all done it. Duncan and Webster. Lure Beckhorst in, make him run. And keep the move going forward. Sometimes you have to go back to go forward. Webster not being pressed. Eventually. March couldn't force a way through. Fred. Stopped by Caicedo. It breaks from March. Undav. Solly March. Still Solly March. And he got his shot off. But, complaining that he was being fouled as he tried to manoeuvre himself into that shooting position.
It's good work from Fred in the end, because he stays really close to Solly March, doesn't allow him to really get the ferocity in the shot, and De Gea's in the right place.
It's a free kick to Brighton. Veltman falling on the ball and handling it. Rashford thought.
There's a tension in the stadium now, isn't there? You could just feel it going into this last period.
Including you and me. Going to be a big moment to witness here. Undav. Savitzer for Manchester United. Another of the substitutes, Jadon Sancho. Dalot now right back on the run. Mitoma trying to stay with him, but not stopping the cross. Rashford won't reach it.
Well, he actually does well to get the cross in, does Dalot. Mitoma chased him all the way back to the byline, but no one in that back post area.
Well, it's been an epic contest. Dalot. Shaw. Craig Pawson has used quite a lot of refereeing nous to make sure that we've reached this stage with 11 versus 11 still on the field. A number of players have been booked, and those players have made questionable challenges, some of them, which could have led to a second yellow card. Shaw. Manchester United's throw.
Well, it's good pressure from Gross, puts Luke Shaw under pressure, but his clearance deflected away for the United throw-in.
It's been an amazing renaissance for Luke Shaw, who had a terrible injury when he first joined Manchester United, then fell out of favour with Jose Mourinho. And has really become one of the senior members of the squad, one of the first names on the team sheet. And Veltman went a long way. Again, that's consistency from Craig Pawson. He's not been picky. What's he going to make of that? I'm not going to be picky about that either, I don't think.
Well, Ten Hag's going crazy in the technical area. He felt that Veltman pulled Rashford back. Veltman said he was fouled by Rashford, and we'll see it here.
Probably here.
Oh, it's a close. That's a close one, Martin, because for me, Rashford's got the run on Veltman. He's slightly goal side.
Check is complete, so it's not going anywhere else. For a moment, Veltman's headed off towards the tunnel, but of course he was just moving into his right back area. And that, have we seen a card? Missed the card?
No.
No card.
No, the foul's given against Marcus Rashford.
Dunk. Oh, and Lindelof is struggling.
I think he was clipped, and then he hobbled.
Yeah.
And he's now demonstrating with the referee.
Yeah, the hobble's gone, I think. Well, Rashford's running. Could this be the moment for Manchester United? Weghorst unmarked in the middle. Rashford wants it for himself, and this season it's a surprise when he misses.
Well, missing the target, yes, because all of a sudden Marcus Rashford is giving Veltman a really difficult time on the right side of Brighton's defence. Just that pace getting in behind him. The touch takes him a little wide, but then he comes back on his favoured right foot. And the only disappointment is he hasn't hit the target. We've seen it so often this season.
Annoyed with himself. Estupinian. Well, he's lost the ball, and his Weghorst. He's lost the ball via, it looked like a handball. Here goes Matoma, slugging it out here, these two.
And that was the right decision, because Matoma just skipped past Dalot and he stepped across his path.
Dunk. Lindelof. Matoma. Trying to tease tired defenders. Gross. Get it through to McAllister. Pascal Gross again. March. Get into his shooting position. Matoma to weave it through. Still going. Matoma. It's a foul on De Gea, I think. It was hammered into the side netting by Estupinian. We've got so close so often.
It was quite brilliant from Brighton. The interchange, the takeovers, Matoma's run. Solly Marsh, little takeover with Matoma, then he slides it. And Matoma follows his run and catches De Gea right at the end of it.
Was that any different to Matoma catching... who was it who got his first yellow card, didn't he?
Estupinian.
Casemiro, was it, he caught? Yeah. He's a bit late
just
again.
A fraction heavy, but late with a challenge.
Yeah. It's not dissimilar. He is the real poster boy of Japanese football now, Kaoru Matoma. Took a while to get into Brighton's team on a regular basis, but De Zerbi saw the potential. No one knows. It's the joy of football. The tension, as Clive says, in the stadium. The extremes of emotion that will be around this ground when finally there is a rule drawn between the two, whether it's a goal in extra time or the shootout. And March has done very well. Keep driving at the team. It's not made any concession to that ankle injury. We're looking at 5, maybe 6 minutes. Dunk. Stahe's ball. Shaw. Malacia gave it plenty. Forward again, chased by Weghorst. Pursued by Veltman. That is a foul. Weghorst was winning the race. Veltman was trying to see it out.
Martin, just a silly challenge from Veltman, because Weghorst is at full pace running into the corner. First of all, he's got to control the ball. And you can see here, it just eases him away from it. There's no need to make that challenge. How costly could this be?
(117th minute at Wembley. Savitzer over the ball. Takes it. Wastes it.
You can see Casemiro, he's pointing to say to Sabitzer that has to be going into that near post area, into the 6-yard box. Totally over here.
Fred, on the other hand, put out the hand of sympathy to Savitzer as he ran past him. Rashford. Fred. Malacia. Casemiro. Good stop again.
Really clever from Casemiro. Everybody thought he was going to release the ball, and he dragged it back inside to give himself the chance to strike. Comes back inside. Caicedo, not quite in the corner. Sanchez again, down smartly.
Sancho. Manchester United fancy this. Turn on the star right at the end. Numbers in the box. Played in by Casemiro. Only passed away by March. Collected by Shaw. It's deflected into the gloves of Robert Sanchez.
Yeah,
tight calves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might have to take a penalty with those tight calves. Lundaf. Free kick to Brighton. Started extra time well. Manchester United finishing it well.
Yeah, they're finishing the final period of this game strongly, are Manchester United.
Mitoma. Estupinian. That's good tracking by Fred. Grosson made his way into the box behind him. March. Still Solly March for Brighton. Corner.
Well, he's trying to cut it back and he's deflected into the side netting. Did brilliantly to evade the attentions of Malacia. Gets to the byline. Fred can't make the challenges in the box, and there Luke Shaw deflects it into the side netting.
Well, it's becoming quite a chilly evening, but De Zerbi wiping the sweat from his brow. Well, the Seagulls fly high. Is there a player playing for the club nicknamed the Seagulls who can fly high here and win the semi-final? Caicedo. Craig Pawson looks at his watch. Still time on it to play. And he'll probably take a penalty. McAllister certainly will.
I think they're all preparing themselves for that, Martin. As the seconds run down.
What about Jadon Sancho? Referring back to the Euro final, Marcus Rashford.
I think that's clearly a case, Martin, where if you ask those players and they're happy to take them, you put them up and they take them. If they don't want to, they don't take them. It's as simple as that. It's a simple question and answer.
Well, we might not get to it yet, because there's one last chance for Manchester United.
One last minute.
Not like that. We go to penalties to decide who plays Manchester City in the FA Cup final. They've been at it hammer and tongs for 2 hours of purposeful play, progressive play, but not penetrating play. Both goalkeepers have made significant saves, and it is goalless as we go to the shootout.
McAllister first up for Brighton.
The main penalty taker, who knows what's riding on this. It's a very isolated position to take a penalty in the shootout. Everybody else back on the halfway line. It's only the goalkeeper who's trying to spoil your evening. Who's in the sightlines. The shootout starts now. And McAllister fires it home.
Fine penalty, fabulous to get your team in front. And he hands it over to Sanchez now.
As Casemiro comes forward for Manchester United. All they can do is watch and hope. Here goes Casemiro, and he scores.
Well, he's seen and done just about everything, hasn't he? And he didn't look fazed at all.
Pascal Gross was in the Europa League final. David De Gea had to take one. Whether we'll get that far in this shootout, wait and see. Gross, who's taken penalties for Brighton before, but not with a perfect record. But that's as good as it gets.
Absolutely, Martin. That is a superb strike. Pace, direction, De Gea no chance.
And the Brighton end trying to do all they can to distract the opposition. It's now Diogo Dalot. Expertly dispatched the three we've seen so far. Dalot with quite a straight run up here. It's unusual. Now a little shimmy to the side. And he went the right way, Robert Sanchez. He's annoyed that he didn't get there, but it was hit hard enough and accurate enough by Dalot, and we're 2-2.
Absolutely, Martin. That was why it ended up in the back of the net. It's brilliantly struck with pace, giving Sanchez no chance to get across to it.
Well, that's the substitute, Denis Undav. Had one or two moments where he might have edged the game Brighton's way. Short approach here. De Gea dances on the line. Undav, that's right in the corner again.
Brilliant accuracy. Has to be struck, certainly with an accuracy from that sort of short run-up, and he does. There goes the right way, can't get across to it.
Well, here is a brave young man, Jadon Sancho, with an unhappy history in this ground, playing for his country. It's almost as if he wants to put that to bed with a successful penalty here, and he's done that. Well played, Jadon Sancho.
Well done, young man. That is pressure of the highest order, and that is brilliantly dispatched.
Travis Estupinian. Gets maybe a word from Robert Sanchez, maybe not even that, it's just a look.
And Martin, people say players shouldn't miss penalties. They'd have practiced them and practiced them on the training field, but not under this sort of pressure.
He looks nervous, Estupinian. Can he convert? The answer is yes.
Well, he waited for De Gea to drop to his right-hand side and then just pulled it back into the open side of the net.
Well, the longer it goes, the greater the pressure. And now it is time for Marcus Rashford. Brighton have scored all four. Manchester United have equalised each time up to 3. Rashford wants to keep that sequence going. Desperately wants to keep that sequence going. Robert Sanchez will have his own ideas. They will certainly prep a Rashford penalty. Little shimmy, a stutter, and again the job done with a certain amount of style.
And well done, Marcus Rashford. Once again, the penalties have been of the highest order in terms of accuracy.
David De Gea back on duty. Lewis Dunk, Mr. Brighton.
Mr. Brighton, no bigger moment than this in his career.
What will be the technique? Maybe a dink from Dunk, but I doubt it. He scores and celebrates with all those fans who adore him. And the pressure really on the 5th penalty taker, which is Marcel Sabitzer for Manchester United.
Well, all 5 converted by Brighton.
The cheerleader. It would be appropriate, I guess, certainly from Brighton's point of view, if his penalty was the winning penalty. But that to happen, Sabitzer has to fail here. He's a very experienced campaigner, international with Austria, lots of European football. Just
got a hand to it, Sanchez, but couldn't keep it out.
Well, the further down the list we go, you would say like a batting order, they're there for a reason. If you're not in the top 5,
they're not the first choices.
Not the first choices, no. Well, one centre-back has done it for Brighton now, Adam Webster. Steps into the furnace of a Wembley penalty shootout. Again, a short approach. Webster waits. Webster scores. 6 out of 6 for Brighton and Hove Albion.
And dare I say it, Martin, there's not been one that's been mishit in terms of the strike, and the quality of technique of penalties has been first class.
Oh, Weghorst lost the penalty shootout in the World Cup, having scored 2 goals for the Netherlands. He did score in his shootout escapade, but his team went out to Argentina. So he's a pretty cool customer. Manchester United need him to convert here, and he does. Well, that's the perfect 12 penalties, 6 each. And we still can't separate Brighton and Manchester United in this FA Cup semi-final.
Well, it couldn't be any closer. It really has been outstanding penalty kicks from both sets of players.
Solly March on the march to the penalty spot. Been ruthless, the taking of the penalties so far, peerless.
Well, I think it's just been Sanchez who's got one hand to one but couldn't keep it out. The rest have been dispatched perfectly.
Here goes March. Oh, and he skied it. And Manchester United celebrate, but they've still got to convert. We've seen it before, one misses and then the other team does the same. It's Victor Lindelof. March distraught. Another light dunk, who works for the club that he loves. And kept on going. So Victor Lindelof to put Manchester United into the FA Cup final, already winners of the EFL Cup, and he's done it. It's a Manchester derby here in June. Brighton are distraught. The difference, one penalty kick. Clive Allen.
7 perfectly taken penalties, just one slightly missed kick from Solly March that has been the difference between these two sides in this FA Cup semi-final, but sets up a Manchester derby final.